Welcome back, everybody. I'm back. You don't have to do this on your own. All right, you don't have to do this on your own.
Straight. Well, I mean, I had co-host help with CCH and
Oh, but you did.
Enrique. So we had our normal crew was in the chat. So we were just I was verbally talking. They were responding back via text. So we got it done.
Yeah, like that. Thank you, CCH. Oh man,
Series win.
series win.
After 5 losses in a row, pulled one out.
But I still don't. Look, it was a hell of a performance by the Bats. The last game.
The last game.
The first game also, right? But
I mean, the first game, look, we got the grand slam from Tanner was great. Other than that, it was, they made some fielding blunders. They dropped a couple of pop-ups and stuff that really bailed us out in that first game.
Right. And, sometimes you got to find those. You got to get those. I get that. But all in all, it was, series win, which is great in ACC play. But I still don't know what to think, man. I don't know where we are. I still don't.
Well, I mean,
this team is, honestly.
Yeah, in the abstract, winning an ACC road series, it was necessary. It was important. It's a big, big win. It's the first ACC series win. Had lost 5 series in a row, so that's huge to finally turn that around. But, on the week, 2-2, because of that midweek disaster of performance against FIU. And then, yeah, I mean, the schedule was moved around multiple times this weekend because of weather, so that's obviously no fault of anyone's the way it is. I did think I'd like to have that second game on Friday back again. I don't think we really put our best foot forward. I think we won the first game and kind of chilled. The at-bats were terrible. We kind of went through the motions in that game, which is something we've seen.
You had a good pitching performance by Siskar, though. It's just
a little bit. He got hit. Once he started getting hit, everyone quit.
Right.
That's not acceptable. I felt like, David Ray's like, we got one today. That's good enough. And at this stage in the season, with the record the way it is,
you got to get them all.
I think it was pretty apparent to me, at least, Chaz. I don't know about your opinion, that we were clearly better than Pitt and had the ability to sweep them, and we didn't even show up for one of the games. And
yes.
that's where you got to take advantage, because again, our record's still shit. We're 17-16 overall and 4-8 in conference. So you had an opportunity to actually be sitting here at 5-7 in conference, and that's a winnable game. And it's not just that we lost it, right? It's that we kind of just went through the motions. Yeah, we're going to talk about midweek too, Danny. So we're going to get to that in a second in terms of who's going to pitch on Wednesday against Bethune. But yeah, I agree with CCH. It's been very inconsistent. We haven't really had that. Okay, we played 3-4 good games in a row, and actually, it's been a pattern. Even when we win, North Carolina won the last game of the series, and then didn't show up for the next game, which was the midweek last week. So we'll see on Wednesday if we actually do string together a couple of decent games in a row, because we haven't been doing that. You're on mute.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. I think it's gonna, it's gonna have to start with a solid showing against Bethune team that I'm not too familiar with them right now. There's some seasons where they have a solid program over there. They've got some good players that can swing the bat a little bit, but typically that's not a team that should be on the field with us. So I think you have to come out and completely dominate this game. Wednesday, not tomorrow, Wednesday, and just go into the weekend series against a tough Duke team and show out and win, and again take the series again. I know that they were in some battles with UNC. I'm not sure how it went. Did UNC take the series against Duke? Vish, do you know?
Not sure.
Gotcha. I think at this point,
I thought it was Duke. I might be wrong, but anyway,
it doesn't really matter. I think you just got to come out there.
No, we talked about this last week. Look, this is the situation they've created for themselves. You're not gonna go anywhere if you don't beat good teams, right? And so they've lost 5 series in a row until the last series, which means, coming into last week, I said, and I still stand by this, there's 7 ACC series left, and that's all the series they have left, because we don't have that easy series towards the end of the season anymore, just because of the way the schedule works now with the expansion. So
right,
had to win all 7 series. They're 1 for 1, 6 to go. And Duke and Georgia Tech are good, and Virginia is good, and that's on the road. You still got to win them because you got to beat someone at some point. So Duke at home, that's a series you got to win. Like there's no two ways about. If they were to do that, right? Let's say they just win the remaining 6 series, which is obviously a lot harder said than done. If they do that, that's 6 games over 500, even if they win all those 2-1. That you add record, that's a winning ACC record. All of a sudden, now you're sitting there like, okay, now you're a tournament team. But you need to do that because you need to then look at the rest of the resume, right? Okay, now if you do that, you've got series wins over Duke, Georgia Tech, and Virginia.
Right.
Now you have a resume, but otherwise, like, I mean, you got. I agree. I'm not saying,
John. Yeah.
This is not a prediction. I too have been watching this team play, but that's what they're gonna have to do. So yeah, Duke is a good team. They're coming to your house. You got to beat them. There's no you've dug this hole for yourself.
CCH, who won that series between Duke and North Carolina? I'm sure you know.
I do not have that rolled off. Yeah, and Danny makes points to some other stuff we're going to talk about. Certainly, Todd Hudson apparently was released from witness protection program and was allowed to play again, and actually played really well on Sunday. So, see if we see our guy Todd out here again, because I think he earned it.
I think the thing with Todd was that it was kind of, I don't want to say feast or famine with him, but it was kind of like when he hit the ball, man, he hit it solid everywhere. He hit line drives just right at people. He hit the ball on the ground hard. But then it was like strikeouts, and he'd strike out 2 or 3 times. And he wouldn't see the ball well, and he wouldn't swing the bat well. It'd be kind of like that. And you need a little more consistency in the sense that you need to work counts a little bit better. You need to draw some more walks. You need to get some more base hits. You got so much pop. You got 1 home run in the whole season, I think, right? Or 2. I think you might have 2. You've got to be able with how big he is. He has to be able to drive the ball out of the park a little bit more. And that's what we were kind of hoping for when he came here from Liberty, is that he was going to be able to do that. He just hasn't been able to do that. So, do I think hitting him that long was the right thing? No, I think that maybe a day or 2 here or there, and kind of to see if he can get his bearings back in order, kind of like what they did with Derek, might have been the better thing to do. You might have found a decent lineup with Puig at third, because Cuvier's doing the same shit regardless of whether he's at third or at first anyways. I know he had a solid outing. Again, everybody hit the ball.
Yeah, but he also had a good performance on the game 1 on Friday, so I think hopefully he's starting to turn the corner there a little bit.
I hope so, because he looks terrible at the plate, man. He was looking terrible at the
plate. I mean, everything is relative, right? He's looking terrible by the standards we set for him. He's still batting 300. Like, I think we need to understand that these other guys we're talking about, like Puig and all, are batting in the hundreds. Like, they're not doing shit. And this is why I was annoyed that Todd got benched for that long. Everything you're saying is 100% accurate about Cuvier's plate approach, which we've talked about offline as well. Like, he's going up there hacking, chasing stuff, like not really locked in. He's not having good at bats. He's just so talented. He's still hitting sometimes. So everything you're saying is accurate.
Right.
My issue is the alternatives are worse. And when you start looking at, I agree, maybe Todd needed a game, not 2 months while Renzo's out there stinking it up. Like, I'm sorry, like what was Renzo doing that allowed him to just continue to play over and over and over and over again where Todd didn't get a shot? That's where it's like, come on, what's happening here? Right? So I totally agree. Like, yeah, maybe sit him for a game, let him recalibrate. Definitely agree with you when you're talking about Cuvier's plate approach, but like, he's still one of the best hitters in the team, even doing that.
I know.
Which speaks volumes about our
there's so many wasted at bats that he has, good or bad hitter. His approach, his plate discipline is so bad. He chases so many terrible pitches that even a decent hitter should not be chasing what he's chasing. Like, his approach is horrendous at the plate, and it's costing him the difference between hitting 305 or whatever he's hitting now, 302 or 310 or whatever, to hitting 450, 460. That's a huge difference.
Huge. He's hitting 304.
304. Yeah. Excuse me. He could definitely be hitting a lot better than that if the plate discipline was there, if his approach at the plate was better. And you see it. But he's having a disappointing season, no doubt about it.
By the
Uh,
standards he set, though, and the context matters, right? Because
we had 24 to 75 last year, so yeah, it's a terrible season considering for
it's
sure.
yeah, but again, the
But
context because again, when you start talking about Puig's batting 111. Like, there's not even a like some like we. I mean, I think. Well, obviously we follow the team, so we just know this. So maybe we don't need to verbalize it amongst each other. But like, there are 4 or 5 guys that have played a lot of baseball this year that are batting in the low hundreds, and that keep getting put out there. And I'm like, kind of, what are we doing? He's one. Degotti's batting 097. How many games did he start? Um, we got Tavares is platooning at catchers batting 143. You and I have talked about Gabby Gutierrez a bunch, 143. Mikey Torres started a bunch, 191. I mean, we're way below the Mendoza line, right? It's like those guys, I don't understand how like those guys get, and this is where I get annoyed that Todd didn't get a shot sooner. Todd's batting 254. He's 6th on the team in batting average. And I know that's only one stat, and there's other numbers to look at and stuff, but why
what's
can't
Renzo batting? What you say? What was Renzo? At one point, he was up. He was over 300.
Yeah, he started hot. He's 241 now.
Gotcha.
So I mean, if I told you Todd was, had a higher batting average than Bobby Marsh, you wouldn't believe me, but he does. So I mean, I don't think his treatment was warranted. Not that he's, lighting it up or anything. Like
Right.
Stanton was last one, he kept getting pulled for some reason. Yeah. It's not like that situation, but like when you see other guys, performing worse and continue to get opportunities, it is a little bit okay. Well, what are we doing then? So yeah, hopefully Cuvée turned the corner because he did, and I would say had some better at bats, this weekend than he had. It always helps, when you he did get thrown out trying to get inside the park, so we got a little hubris there, but we'll take the bases clearing triple and throw it out at home. I think that's okay because the bases were loaded. So he did get 3 RBI, but he went for it. You gotta give him. He's not happy with his home run numbers. He tried to.
That's fine. I mean, I can.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking. Obviously, hopefully, like not everyone's watching on the video. I know someone listened. I'm laughing as I'm saying this because obviously, like that's if you're hitting a ball into like the dead corner and then trying to get home and you're up 14 to 1, that's fine. So those are situations where you could go for it. But yeah, your guy Fabio leads the team in batting average, and I know you were calling for him the entire year. It took a while for JD to get there, and then second is Derek Williams, Jake Ogden third, Cuvée fourth. Those are the only guys batting over 300. Todd is 5th.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
And yet, but so that's what I'm saying. There isn't, and this is kind of one of the frustrating things. And Danny, we are going to talk midweek as well, right? But one of the frustrating things is we actually don't have a lot of options, and yet he's still like tinkering and there's Bobby Marsh and Max Galvin and Tanner Smith are batting, 250 and up, and then the guys I mentioned, then Dorian's at 254. Everyone else that's played significantly is in the 100s. Like this is not like when you're sitting there saying, let me send Gabby up to pinch hit. I'm like, that's not really an option based on the performance. Like you just got to stick with what you have. There aren't really a lot of
this whole lefty righty thing, it doesn't really matter if you're hitting one something, no matter what.
There's a 200-point difference in batting. It's not going to be made up in lefty righty. And I think that's the frustrating. I mean, there was one. I think this is in one of the games we won actually, but like he had Marsh up and Pitt had a righty on the mound and he pinches hits with Gabby. So it's already backwards. You're like losing 150 points off the batting average and turning around and going righty. And then he tried to bunt with it. He bunted out. I'm just like, if you're going to bunt, first of all, if you're going to bunt and like that was the plan, put Mikey Torres in because he's a much better defender.
Exactly.
He's faster, and he's still left-handed, so you still have a lefty-righty matchup. Why would you? Anyway, some of this stuff is just so confounding. Oh, man. You could go crazy trying to understand this, which is our job, so therefore we go crazy.
Anyways,
yeah, but I agree with Danny. I liked the lineup on Sunday, not just produced. It was one that was, and I remember before the game, this is a hitting lineup because he did actually have. I mean, this was the lineup essentially. He basically went down the batting average.
Yeah.
Here's our top batting average percentages, right? Fabio started, Derek started, Jake started, Daniel started, Todd started, Dorian started, Bobby Marsh started, Max Galvin started, Tanner Smith started. Those are the 9 top batting average. That's who we started, and we scored 14 runs. So maybe just go
Maybe
out
you got
there.
something there. Maybe don't screw that up anymore. Just
Yeah,
leave that
maybe
alone.
after you played 30 plus games, it's not the only stat, but the batting average when there's this big gaps between the hitters could be
Right.
somewhat indicative of maybe who you should have out there. Now,
Look,
I will say,
I'm not against giving a guy a break here and there
oh no,
because they need that.
yeah.
But when you're in the middle of a series that you need to win, you need to score runs. You need to have the right guys in there. You can't be screwing around trying to you know discover new ways of how to do things. No, man, now's not the
You're in
time.
the season too. You're 30 games in. They are
Yeah,
what the players are. What they are. It's
right.
not that you're not going to pinch hit at times. You're not going to have to put, like you said, spot start other guys. But you should have that when there's that. Those are your top 9 hitters, and they positionally align. And then you put them in there and score 14 runs. Yeah, I'd like to see them again.
Right.
With that said, I'll tell you the one thing that helped JD out on Sunday too is, I mean, he rolled the dice and it worked. Like you mentioned, Cuvier's defense has been abhorrent, and that did cause a lot of this shuffling, right? Because we had to move him to first because of the way he was playing at third, which means we had to put Puig in, even though he's struggling at the plate. Or we also tried like Degotti at short. He's batting less than 100. So like we tried, and then eventually he's
He
like,
hit a ball over the scoreboard though against FSU. So
he's got 2 home runs and he's batting 097. So go
right.
figure. No. So he tried to do some of those things, and like, all right, I have to. I'm fine that he tinkered with the lineup in that instance because something had to happen with Cuvier at third after that Stetson game. So when he moved him over, and then because he put him at first now, that caused all the other dominoes to fall. Where we had to have Degotti or Puig in there, but at this point, yeah, I think you just got to live with Cuvier at third because you need another bat out there the way we've been playing. So I liked the lineup we ran on Sunday. Again, it's backed up by the statistics. And so, yeah, I don't think, and also I would say generally speaking,
By the way, Dorian's at bats were a lot better this past
he
week.
hit a couple of bombs.
Hit a couple of balls, but he also when he did get his base hits, they were solid base hits where they didn't look like he was trying to elevate the ball. He was just swinging. He found a spot, and he just swung the bat like how you need to, not trying to find a home run every time you get up there.
We did a lot less of everyone swinging for the fences, and it helped as well.
This is great TV right here.
We're both melting down over here. I'm seasoned. Jazz is sick. It's all coming apart here. We're so shocked they won a road series. We're dying on the stream.
This is unbelievable, man. This is great for podcasts too. Dead air.
I can cut the dead.
Yeah, I don't care.
I can cut the dead part out of the podcast at least.
Oh man.
Everyone. Yeah. Do we have the bird flu? I don't know.
I hope not.
We'll see. We'll see next week. If we're here next week, hopefully that's a no. But
yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Now, the biggest thing is the pitching, right? Surprised, not surprised? Are you pleasantly surprised by the way that they're showing up?
I don't. So my surprise is in that I don't know what anyone's role is other than Griffin Hughes at this point. Everyone else seems to be like, let me. No, it came up Siskar's number. You're starting, buddy. So it doesn't appear that there's much of a, he's trying some stuff. Like Siskar struggled in his start. Darius got a start. I know something you've been calling for. He was great on Sunday. He got hit early and then settled in. And then it was good. And then obviously it helps when the team is scoring. It takes the pressure off. Hughes is obviously the number one pitcher on the staff. That continues to be the case. And then, after that, I mean, it feels like everyone's role changes game to game. I guess Walt is the closer now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think look, I'm okay. I think Siskar was okay until he got hit a little bit towards the end of his start. Maybe he's not prepared. He clearly wasn't prepared to go 4 or 5 innings, right? So and your arm needs to be ready to do that. If you're used to going an inning or two,
Well, this was Siskar's second start in a row, right? He did go deep
when
into
did he
it.
start before?
He started last week.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, on the Sunday game, right?
Yeah, and he pitched well in that game. He didn't pitch well this week. But
Yeah,
again,
that's all right. It's kind of like it wasn't terrible, right? He didn't look awful doing it. I put him back out there again.
no, I would too. I'm not saying we shouldn't put him back out there. I just think that there's no consistency in how we're handling Andy's pitch. I mean, within the course of a week, he told three. I'm not going to name names, but he told three of different pitchers that they were the closer, and then didn't close with any of them. And it's just
But
be
then you got
straight.
guys like Carson Fisher that are now out of nowhere are just absolute studs.
I
And
mean,
that's okay. I'm not
he
complaining
got
about
absolute studs. He came in and got an out on Sunday.
I'm not complaining about it, right? Because his outing before this was very good as well.
Yeah,
So
sure, I thought you had pounded us into
if
submission.
he can start, it doesn't matter, right? Like if he can start figuring it out a little bit, I don't care who it is at the end of the day, but you got to put guys in there that can get guys out. Bottom line, and if he's going to start
Well,
getting,
for the most part, our bull, other than Siskar got hit pretty badly. Other than that, our bullpen did well this weekend, and he did use a different approach. But it was a lot of short stints. We've certainly been vocal about JD leaving pitchers in too long. He was very much, you get an inning, you get an inning, you get an inning. We used a lot of guys for short stints, and so maybe he'll continue to do that. And yeah, I just feel like no one's consistent other than Griffin, though, because Giroux was so good a week before this. Essentially won that last game against North Carolina by shutting out the last 4 innings. Got hit, badly twice this week, and he almost caused us to have to play a couple extra innings, like imploding against Pitt in the 7th inning, and they scored 3 runs, and he left the bases alone. And then Fisher came.
well, right? You get your first 2 outs, and then you kind of just go through the motions.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. So in JD's defense, well, it's not in his defense because he should have, handled the staff better. But no one has been consistent other than Griffin Hughes. So like game to game, it's just like Giroux looks so good for 2 games in a row, and then just not consistent.
You know what? At this point, it's something we're gonna have to deal with because
and I think that is why he's going to these more shorter stints with these guys, and just like, hey, if I can get 3 outs, focus on a small task, and then move on to the next pitcher. And that worked really well.
Which is, by the way, something that I did mention at the beginning of the season. You might have to go, that major league approach and just go a couple innings here, a couple innings there, as opposed to get guys in there that want to throw 5 or 6 innings.
Right. And I think that's a shift in approach from last week. We'll see. I mean, we've not been consistent in anything we've done, but we'll see. But yeah, out of the pen, on Friday, game 1, Will Smith got an out, Walt got 3 outs, and Giroux, worked an inning as well and gave up 1 run. And then even against, the game we got blown out in, we did get some decent work from Jackson. Gave us an inning. Rob Evans gave an inning. Carson Fisher got an out. No, but that one, Lachi, who'd been pitching really well, got hit bad, couldn't get an out. We had to pull him.
Yep.
So that's part of the consistency, right? Coming into that, I'd be like, I trust Lachi, and then nope. And then Mikey gave up a run too, and he's like another one that you're like, all right, I trust that guy, and they're like, nope. So it's hard. It's hard to manage for them, but we have been getting, and then Giroux obviously gave up some runs on Sunday as well. So he had a rough weekend. And then, fast forward a week or rewind a week, he's probably the best pitcher we have out of the bullpen. So it's just,
this is some of those growing pains that you have to get with freshmen. A lot of them are freshman guys.
Wasn't Giroux like a transfer?
Giroux, yeah, but even the guys like Siskar and Darius and Mikey Fernandez and
So the one thing I'll say that I like more about this approach, and which something that we've been critical of him leaving pitchers in too long. I think part of the inconsistency is you got to have a quick hook.
Yeah,
because these guys on the game-to-game basis either got it or they don't. And if they don't, you got to get them in. Like no one on the staff, other than Griffin Hughes, has shown any ability to pitch through trouble and like resettle and then Once they go, this includes Nick Robert when he was starting. This includes Walt when he was starting. Like once that inning started going sideways, you can pencil the other team in for 6 or 7 runs. Just get them out.
I'd
And
be interested to see what they do with Nick Robert.
well, so this goes back to Danny's question earlier about the midweek, and he also name checked. Do you put Nick in there? What do you do on Wednesday against Bethune? Who are you pitching? I know we've had, as everyone's saying, we've had Reese Lumpkin starting. Been in several rough outings in a row for him. Nick did not pitch at all this weekend, so if he's not hurt, I'm wondering if they're setting up to start the midweek.
Maybe you do like we spoke about, right? Johnny Hostaff, you might start Reese, or you might start Nick Robert, give him a couple innings, then give Reese a couple innings, then give this one a couple innings. But the problem there is that now you run into the issue of potentially having to leave a guy in a little too long, or what's your play there when you've got an ACC series to play, in a couple of days from that, and some of those guys that you use, unless you're comfortable using, like you can go with Rob Evans and Jake Dorn and some of those guys in the midweek and win that ball game. But the problem is that if you're in a tight game on a midweek, now you got to use some of your better guys. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I wish it was as easy as saying, just go, man. Just go do it. Just go after them and start Reese, and you're fine. You're going to get 3 or 4 or 5 solid innings from, and you're good to go. That's not the case. So I think it's just this is a case where you have to just kind of see how the game goes.
So
and play the result that way.
So given that we didn't use Nick over the weekend, I want him to start on Wednesday. He is a starter. He's gone long into games against, in the early season.
I would be surprised if he was a guy.
I would. You're talking about, protecting the bullpen for the weekend. He's someone that should be able to give you 7 or 8 innings against Bethune.
Right.
Those are the types of teams he was shutting down earlier in the year. So yeah, once we hit ACC competition, you struggle against better hitters. Bethune's not that. So I think you should start him, expect him to eat several innings and keep the score down. I think that's something he can do. I think it's something he's shown he can do. And I think that is a valuable role for him on this team right now, because we got to start winning these midweek games. We talked a lot about the weekend series. Like last week, we won a road ACC series and didn't make up a game in the win-loss column because FIU came in our house and beat the shit out of us. Like, you can't do that. And so if he settles in as the midweek guy, that's a very important role for this team. We need someone to stabilize that. I know it's not where he envisioned when he was the Friday starter coming into the season, but still a really important role for us. It's an opportunity for him to get his bearings back too. And potentially, if we get into the postseason parts of the season, you do need those extra pitchers, and having him able to do that and be comfortable starting games matters a lot. So I think that's a good role for him, because there's no way anyone would be comfortable like rolling Reese Lumpkin out there for like in a regional or something. Like
no.
I think Nick, he didn't get off to a good start this year, and it kind of spiraled. This is a good chance for him to reset and potentially even move back to the weekends, depending on how Siskar and Darius continue to pitch or not pitch. So I think that's what I would try to do. I have no idea what JD is going to do, because JD is good.
That's $1 million question.
That's a different thing altogether, but that's what I would do.
$1 million NIL question right there.
Yeah, especially since he didn't. Especially since there was no, Nick didn't pitch this weekend. To me, that's just another reason where I think he's fresh. Get him in there. Let him pitch. Let him go as long as he can, which I think should be quite a long time, because he's a starter, and he's gone deep into games against lesser opponents before. I expect him to be able to do that.
All right, so are we going to talk about the most important segment of the show? Are you ready for that?
I mean, I am. I'm not. I know what segment you're talking about, and we're already in the abstract. I don't have any good ideas, but yes, let's pivot to the
because I know that they kind of
cheated last time.
They copped it out. They copped out
you in town
last
too.
time.
By the way, who ended up winning that?
Huh? Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
The last thing they said about it was, wow, what was it? Was cannoli or snickerdoodle?
Yeah,
Snickerdoodle was 2 milkshakes ahead,
Yeah.
Yeah, like after Saturday, and they didn't say anything else about that. So I guess I could go
Know.
check what's on the menu. But all right. So for those
All
that
right, so
aren't
let's talk
familiar with
about
the
it now.
show, we're gonna predict what milkshake they have for
We're
Duke.
playing Duke, which is obviously a team from North Carolina. What is North Carolina known for? It's known for its barbecue, right?
Yeah.
We're talking Carolina barbecue here.
Yep.
Do we play any other North Carolina teams at home? Do we play NC State at home, or do we play them away?
No, we play them at home too.
Yeah, we play them at home as well.
Interesting snickerdoodle one. So.
Okay. So this is gonna be an interesting one. Do we go with like a typical Southern dessert style shake, or are we going typical Southern like Carolina barbecue shake, like a pulled pork shake, or like a spare rib shake or something like that? I'm not opposed to them putting a spare rib in a shake because I'll house that thing.
I will tell you, as someone who has eaten the brisket shake, meat and milkshake don't go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they don't. But like a brisket shake was done right when Texas came down. When we played Texas, they did the brisket.
It was no good, man.
I know. So what are you thinking? Are we gonna go with like peach cobbler is more like Georgia. So are we gonna go with like what's a traditional barbecue dessert aside from like peach cobbler, like banana pudding? Maybe like there's already banana. There's already a banana shake, right? You can add banana to anything there.
Yeah.
But they could go like banana bread pudding if we're gonna go on the sweet side, or we're gonna go nasty, and we're gonna kill it with a barbecue. What do you think?
I mean, have they gone nasty? I feel like one of them was disgusting, right? I can't remember which one.
They haven't.
I feel like one of them was like really gross.
Or maybe they have, yeah.
No,
They go with the lobster one or something like that?
No, it was worse than that.
Lox or maybe salmon.
I think they did like a whole Chicago dog in a pizza or something, some disgusting shit like that. Yeah, well, I'm gonna go nasty on this. I think I'm gonna put barbecue in there.
Barbecue? Okay, so which one? Which one?
So I don't think it's gonna be a whole rib.
No.
For that. So.
But are you thinking rib? Are you thinking pork, chicken? Are you thinking brisket? Are you thinking like sausage?
Cow. So maybe you think I think they'll run brisket back. I'm going brisket.
Brisket?
I think it's making an appearance. They've done it before. There's priors. I'm going brisket.
Okay. I'm gonna go with maybe I go with like a bacon cheddar sausage.
Bacon cheddar sausage.
Not bacon cheddar. Like a cheddar pork sausage link.
Okay.
Those are popular in barbecue, like those, like a smoked sausage link or something. I'm gonna go with that.
Smoked sausage.
That's what they're gonna put. They're gonna put in there and mix in a little, I don't know, marshmallow, because we can't go sweet. Sweet is too easy. People will be like, "Oh, this is too easy. I'll eat this. I'll eat a apple pie a la mode because we already have that there, right? Yeah. I'll eat a peach cobbler because who wouldn't eat a peach cobbler shake? A banana pudding shake. Who wouldn't eat that? So cinnamon rolls? No, you wouldn't go cinnamon rolls. All right, let's go barbecue. Just barbecue. Barbecue shake. Some sort of Carolina barbecue shake. We good with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I'm on brisket, which is a little bit more detailed, but
yeah, you're brisket. I'm sausage. All right. Probably gonna both be wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. They'll cop out again and do some bullshit.
If it's good though, we have to have it. If it's good, we have to have it. If it's not good, one of us will have to have it.
I still have trauma from that brisket, man. That thing was so gross. There were chunks of meat in there, and it was. Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't look, man, I did that team was hosting a regional, damn it. They deserve me to eat this. This team's gotta win the game. I will eat the disgusting shakes when they get that ACC record over 500. Until then, they do not eat it.
All right. Well, make sure you check us out. We'll be out there at the at the Duke Series, catching some baseball.
Yeah, I'll be at Bethune on Wednesday too.
Bethune on Wednesday. I don't think I'll be at Bethune on Wednesday. I think I might be.
I'm planning on it. We'll see.
Working. But who knows? But check us out. We'll be out there. We'll be at the spring game. Before that, on Caulfield as well, and you've got buckets coming up soon. Got some big time recruits coming in and committed to the Kings, baby.
So check that out. We had buckets yesterday, actually.
Oh, nice. That was yesterday. Sweet.
So check that out. Yeah, the men and women added a bunch of players, but also the centennial celebrations on campus tomorrow. I'm gonna be out there. And the team store.
I'll wear the hat on this weekend. I'm sure they're gonna wear that jersey.
The team store. Well, no. Okay, we'll talk offline. But the team store will be out there. Too, they got the whole setup in Stanford Circle. So if you're out there, stop by there.
Very cool.
Cool equipment, including La Centennial merch, including the shirt. So
I like that shirt. That shirt is sweet.
Yeah, there's a baseball one too. There's a baseball one too. That's a little bit.
Is that a new shirt?
Excuse me.
That's a new shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to go.
Those are Centennial shirts. So they got this. There's a baseball one too. That's white. That's a little bit different, but also cool. So those are the ones they're selling for the 100-year anniversary of the school. So definitely check that out. They're selling them out there at Stanford Circle. They're obviously also available in the team store. And so get out there and do some shopping and whatnot. So
all right, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. All right. So Bethune Wednesday, Duke at home this weekend. Let's go 4-0.
Bethune is Daytona. So is there anything in Daytona?
I don't think they do.
You can do a milkshake for?
They don't do midweek, do they?
Yeah, they do it. They'll do it.
I don't think they're doing anything for Bethune, so
maybe not.
No, just win the games.
Daytona.
No, they're gonna put burned rubber or something in there for you.
Yeah. Piece of degraded tire. All right, yeah. We'll see you guys.
See you guys on the F1 show tomorrow.
That's right.